Story 2, by Interesting Case 267. I know this thread is a little old, but I want to share my experience. So I've always had weird things happen. I can't explain my whole life, and have always believed in the paranormal. But what made me stop searching for the paranormal is something I wish to never experience again in my life. It wouldn't have been as bad if it wasn't in my own house. That me, my wife, sister-in-law, and son all live in. But back to the story. I bought an Ouija board and started playing with it. We had several paranormal things go on in the house beforehand, but it only got worse with the use of the Ouija board. A few noises, things moving around the house, cups would be thrown from flat surfaces with no one near it. My son one time even walked to a corner in the bathroom by the washing machine, back when he couldn't talk, and just started reaching for people, and started reaching for someone in the corner. I picked him up and ran out of the room. Keep in mind that was before the Ouija board. Then I started playing with the Ouija board, and every time I would talk to a ghost named Dell. Well, I got curious, looked up on my state's death records. I found a girl, died of a car crash in the same county I lived in, named Delcy Ray. As I typed this, my lights flickered. I haven't experienced anything since I've saged the house after the story I'm about to tell you. All the information Dell gave me matched up with this girl, except she said she was 6 and the girl was 9, which may make sense if she was sitting on the opposite side of the Ouija board. A 6 would look like a 9 to a kid, but this isn't the part that freaked me out to no end. Objects would move from one side of the room to the other when I would turn my back. We had a little chair on our front porch that would sit up next to the house facing towards the road. It was a kid chair for my son. Some days I would come home, and this chair would be sitting face the door to our house. I didn't think nothing of it, because my in-laws were in and out of the house all the time. No problem, I would just love it back. Well, one day, it was just me and my sister-in-law at home. I had just got home 30 minutes prior to this happening. The chair was in the spot it was supposed to be. I was in our living room, walking towards the hallway, and I was about 2 feet from the window the chair normally sits in front of. I hear a noise on the porch. I look outside. I see no one. Keep in mind, the door is only about 7 to 8 feet from this window. I run to the door. I open it, and the chair is sitting facing towards the door. I freak out. I yell for my sister-in-law, who walks into the hallway from the kitchen, and she sees it and freaks out. And she didn't even know that I had been coming home to it like that till after that happened, and I told her. Still not the freakiest part yet. I was home alone. During all this, we decided to get a pet pig so we can blame the stuff happening on him to ease our conscience. Well, we had baby gates up at both entrances to the living room to keep the pig from getting into everything in the house. So it was just me and the pig at home. Everyone was gone for the night. So I wanted to enjoy my night gaming. I'm playing with my friends, having a great night when I felt like I was being watched. So I turn around to see a girl, pale white, not see-through, long black hair, black eyes peeking around the door, way reaching for the baby gate to open it. It instantly dashed around the doorway. I screamed no to the top of my lungs. My friends freaking out through my headset. They thought I was being robbed. I told one to come over right now, and I stayed pinned against the TV, watching both entrances to the living room until they got there. And the next day we saged the house, and I vowed to never play the Ouija board in my own house ever again, and if I ever did play it, I would sage myself and my house every time. And that was only some of the things that happened. There's a lot more that I left out, but putting them all would be way too much. But that's the gist of the story of how I stopped seeking the paranormal. Story 2, by Jolly Guarantee 2214. Here's a bit of background check before my story as a kid. I used to be a scaredy cat. I wouldn't sleep in the dark or without my door open, but for as long as I can remember, I always remember each time my mom got sick. It will take her forever to get over the sickness, and she would always get really ill over. It's so she has a bad immune system. So one night when I was around 7 or 8, I went to sleep, and I woke up in the middle of the night feeling uneasy, and like someone was watching me, so I just brushed it off and thought I was tired, and that my brain was playing tricks on me, so I went back to bed the next night. Same thing happened. I woke up with the same feeling, but this time, my closet door was a little cracked open when I woke up. When I remember, I closed it before I went to sleep, so I ran to my mom's room scared, and she told me maybe I didn't close it all the way, and that it probably just opened a little because the doors were uneven or something, so I stayed with her for the rest of the night, and the next night she made me go in my room and I woke up again in the middle of the night. But this time when I woke up, I heard a sound from my closet, then I realized it's just my toys saying their voice lines, but they didn't sound right, they sounded a little disordered. My first initial thought was, maybe the toy batteries are almost dead, and that's why it sounds like that. But then I remembered it only plays the voice lines if you press the button, but I didn't press it, so what could have it been? Of course, I was scared shitless, so I started crying till my mom came to my room and asked what was wrong. I told her something is making my toys talk. My mom calmed me down and brought me to her room and told me it was probably just a bad dream. For the rest of the night, I stayed with her. I stayed with her for several nights after that night, until my mom made me sleep in my own room again. That night I couldn't sleep. I stayed up, waiting for something to happen, but nothing did, until I was about to fall asleep, until I heard the terrifying creak of my closet door, open my room, fell cold. I was sitting there, frozen in fear, staring at my closet, and what I saw next scarred me for life. Two sets of eyes looking back at me. I screamed louder than I ever did before. My mom came rushing to my room, asking what's wrong. I told her, still shivering, there's someone in my closet. I told her. So of course my mom walked over to the closet and opened it. Of course the thing was gone. I slept in my mom's room for the next 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks, I thought it would be gone. I finally fell asleep in my own bed till I woke up to whispers. And they said, she'll never find out about us. And then I started to hear everything in my closet start to shake like there was an earthquake. It was a loud sound of rumbling, then silence. Then my nightlight shut off, pitch blackness all around me, and then I heard it again, the terrifying creak of the closet door. I seen the eyes, they were moving closer to me and closer. I felt very cold, until I heard the relieving sound of my mom's door open. She came to check on me to make sure I wasn't awake again. Thankfully, she came in the room when she did, and because if she didn't, who knows what would have happened after she walked in. I remember my mom saying, "Why is it so cold in here? And why is your nightlight off? You never sleep with it off." I told her it turned it off because it wanted to hurt me after that night. I didn't go in my room again for a while, until my mom called the priest and told him everything. The priest explained to us that what I was seeing was, in fact, a bad spirit demon that wanted to possess me a few days later. The priest came and blessed the house after the priest did that. Everything was fine, but something that really terrified me is that those few days before the priest came to my house, my mom seen it too. She said she woke up feeling freezing and not being able to breathe, and then she saw the same thing I saw, hovering over her, trying to possess her. After that, my mom told me she felt really weak and tired, but I didn't start seeing again to a few years after the priest blessed our house. But these ghosts are different. They don't try to harm, they just watch.